Hello, my friends, and welcome to our next camping adventure. Cheers to you, folks. Oh, it's a spot. Well, we've got a pretty decent day, my friends, but that's all about to change. We'll talk about that more when we get down to that campground. So with that being said, let's get red fired up. Y'all buckle up, grab your beverage of choice, and let's get headed in that direction. Appreciate y'all coming along. Y'all take care, and I'll see you when we get to that campground. Let's go. All right, my friends, well, we've made it down here, and here's our campsite for tonight. It's not too bad. Now, first thing I did, though, after I got red situated, was move that picnic table, because that had sitting on the side of a hill, practically. That's not going to help us out at all. But they were kind enough to leave us, well, some kind of firewood in the fire ring, so I'm not going to complain. All right, my friends, well, let's get a couple things situated and grab a seat, and I think I'm going to make us some coffee. It's definitely breezy, my friends. Sun feels nice. Cheers to you, my friends. Just been relaxing out here for a little bit, working on this first cup of coffee. Because our temperatures are actually pretty decent today. Holy cow. And as you can tell, snow's already gone. That's typical here in Indiana. We'll get snow for a number of days, and within 3 days it's just gone. But the bottom's about to drop out. So what I did was I arranged my schedule, rearranged it a little bit. So we're getting out a day before this next winter front hits, which is tomorrow. It's going to start off with rain, which we may see in the morning. We'll see how it goes. And then that's going to turn into snow. And then for the next 2 or 3 days, snow, snow, snow. And the temperatures are going to be pretty brutal. I mean, the last I looked, they're guesstimating, I suppose, as close as the weather can predict, that it's going to be in the 20s again, and potentially with wind chill factor single digits. So I was like, let's see if we can get ahead of it. Oh, because for dinner tonight, what I plan to attempt, and I will stress that, because we might be reaching a little bit, but it's something I've been really wanting to try at a campground. But we're gonna have chicken cordon bleu with a cream sauce. It's a lot easier to do in a kitchen, but I think we can pull it off out here. Well, we'll find out together, my friends. I think the only thing we're gonna have to contend with is the wind. Because like I said, the temperatures are not that bad. And where we're seated here, I've got the sun coming at me, which feels pretty nice too. Oh my goodness. But we've got some prep work to do, a little bit. And we'll probably tackle that here in about an hour. We'll get through this coffee and just relax out here for a while. Oh my gosh, there was some bird activity, but they left. I don't blame them. Well, I run all my friends. Appreciate y'all coming along on this little camping adventure. I truly do. So, here's to you, my friends. I'm going to refill and enjoy some peace and quiet out here before we get dinner started. So, y'all take care, and we'll catch up then. All right, my friends, it's time to do our prep work. Now, what I did ahead of time was, this is just one chicken breast that I butterflied and then put in this bag and took the old meat mallet to it and flattened it out, because you want to get it to about 1/4 of an inch. And I wasn't sure how cold my hands might be out here, so I want to do my knife work at home. So let's get this joker out of here. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't blow away. I'll pick it up directly. Now, let's see if we can... Oh, it's cold. There we go. Let's see which way I want to roll it. That looks pretty good. We may have to, I brought a knife over here so we can trim some pieces off. So now what we do, we take some ham. If I can get this to open, there we go. I think I brought enough pieces. We'll see how it goes. I tried to bring an extra. And this is just very thin sliced ham. That looks pretty good. And some thin sliced Swiss cheese. Hopefully the wind doesn't cause us too many issues. Yeah, good. Well, I get that paper to come off there. There we go. Tuck that back here just a little bit. Get it organized on there, and then we roll it up. Almost kind of like a burrito. Should have brought a paper towel over here. Go ahead. Take that little nugget off there. That looks pretty good. Now what we're going to do, see if I can do this without getting chicken all over everything. Probably should have thought that through a little better. Let's see. Because now we're going to wrap it up in plastic wrap. So I think I can do this one-handed. If the wind will allow, let's put it that way. Don't have a whole lot of plastic wrap left in this sucker. I knew this was going to be a challenge, but that's all right. There we go. I'm going to ignore that. There we go. I can take this off. Now, I brought my scissors here for the plastic wrap, and I'll show you why here in a second. That's why. So we're going to wrap this up nice and tight. And this is a little trick. I take a little piece of parchment paper and just stick it in there. It helps unwrapping. There we go. And we're going to twist these ends real good, best we can. There we go. Let's do it this way. And we both go in the same direction. And that's our prep work. So now this is going to go back in the cooler for about 30 to 45 minutes. And in the meantime, well, we got plenty of time. We'll get the stove set up. And I brought the little toaster oven, which I'm going to set up on the back of Red's tailgate, because we'll need that too. Appreciate you hanging in there, my friends. And let's see how this works out. Get level in there. There we go. I'll be back in 30 to 45. All right, my friends, our oil's at temperature. I got about 350. And I went ahead and unwrapped our chicken. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll it in some flour, and I brought way too much flour. We'll roll it in, I've got 2 beaten eggs here. We're gonna give it a little egg bath. There we go. And then right here, I just have regular standard plain old breadcrumbs. We're gonna crumb it up. I am making a mess. Wind's not helping. Fortunately, the oil came up to temperature like it was supposed to. There we go. Yep. Now we're going to set this in the oil, and we're just going to cook it till it's golden brown, and then we're going to move it over to the stove. All right, let's see if I can do this without burning myself. There we go. So it's going to be about probably 2 or 3 minutes on the side. So I'm going to move some of this stuff around, and I've already got the stove preheating, so we should be pretty good here in about 3 minutes. All right, my friends, we're ready to take this out of here. I might let it go just a minute or two long. Now this oil is going to cool down a little bit because we're going to need both these burners again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this over. I've got a small little pan with some parchment paper in it, and we're going to toss it in our little toaster oven. And depending on, there's no real set time. I'm going to check it about 20 minutes, but we're looking to get it at an internal temperature of 165 or a little better. Because if you just try to do this all in the oil, it's really, that center's it's gonna get dark, and that center's not gonna get done. So I'll be back directly, my friends. All right, my friends, our chicken's getting really close. So we're gonna start some rice. And I just have some chicken and broccoli flavored rice. I've already got 2 cups of water in here. So we're gonna dump this in. Whoops. I'll chase that down in a minute. And we need to bring that up to a boil according to package directions. And then let it simmer for about 8 minutes. So as soon as it comes up to a boil, we'll get that sauce going. And it's pretty straightforward and simple, really. All right, my friends, when this comes up to a boil, we'll be back. All right, my friends, just turned the heat down. We got up to a boil, so now we're going to start on that cream sauce, which is pretty straightforward. If I can get this open. I've got just half and half. We want 2/3 of a cup. There we go. Watch the wind. And here I brought 1 tablespoon of butter and 2 ounces of cream cheese. Let's see if we can get that in there. Yep, there it goes. Now, one thing about this sauce, we're going to bring it up to heat, but it takes a lot of whisking. You got to really pay attention to it. You don't want it to boil by any means, but you'll get it up to a nice simmer and then whisk it often until you get it to the consistency that you like. So let's get started. And hopefully everything comes out done all at the same time. I just checked that chicken and it's real close. So I'll probably just have to turn the stove off and just let it keep warm in there until we get everything else done. Here we go. Oh, and this sauce probably takes about, it takes about 7 or, oh, I'll turn that down. It takes about 7 or 8 minutes to come together, which should time out really well with the rice. Typically, I watch the sauce. If it starts to bubble a little bit, that's when I'll take it off and I'll whisk it. Forgot to grab a napkin. Oh. All right, my friends. Well, everything looks like it was successful. Let's find out. Oh, let's see. Give me a piece of this. Holy catfish, we did it. I was a little apprehensive, but by golly, we got it done. Hard to go wrong with that. These little instant rice packets, they're just handy. Oh, our cheese is nice and melty. Get another bite of that. Still steaming. Oh yeah. That's some good stuff, my friends. Actually, we timed it pretty well, because as soon as we get dinner done, we can get that campfire going. I'm probably have to put my jacket back on. I think the temperature is starting to drop finally. So, well, my friends, appreciate you hanging in there that far, and by golly, we did it. We made chicken cordon bleu in a campground. I'm pretty pleased. Well, I'm gonna tear into dinner, my friends, and then, well, we'll get that fire going, and then I'll think about cleaning up our mess. So, y'all take care, and we'll catch you up then. It's pretty good. Chicken's not dry at all, by the way. Oh my goodness. All right, my friends, let's get that campfire going. It's gonna be dark soon. Holy cow. And I didn't bring any cardboard. It's a little damp down there, so we're gonna do the best we can. Geese and a train. That's wild. There we go. We're flying east. Oh, got some bigger stuff here. Cool. Put it down on the bottom. Let me grab the lighter. My goodness, that train just won't stop. That's the first one I've heard today. Get off my finger. There we go. Oh, let's use this. All right, my friends, I'm going to tend to this and get this dinner mess cleaned up. Oh, and probably put my jacket on. Y'all take care. We'll catch up directly. Cheers to you, my friends. Made some more coffee while I was cleaning. Well, we definitely had to bring some more gear with us for this cook down here at the campground, but by golly, I think we pulled it off. Oh, and if you've never made chicken cordon bleu, it's actually pretty straightforward. You take a chicken breast, a decent sized one, you butterfly it, and I put it in a gallon-sized bag and take a meat mallet to it. You want to get it to about 1/4 inch thick. And then you take some very thin sliced ham and you put on there, a couple of thin slices of Swiss cheese, or you can use whatever cheese you prefer. I prefer the Swiss. And what we did was we heated up our oil to 350. Well, first of all, you roll that joker up like a burrito. And it's important to roll it up in plastic and twist it off and throw it back in the fridge for half an hour, 45 minutes. That gives it a chance to kind of keep its shape. And then we just flour, egg wash, and breading. Make sure you get a good coating of breading on there, especially on the ends. Dropped it in some. Here comes some more geese. Drop it in your oil, 350, for about 2 to 3 minutes aside. You want to get a nice crisp crust on the outside of it, kind of golden brown, but you're not looking to cook it through. Then you throw it in an oven at 350 for, well, just check it in about 20 minutes or so, and with a little meat probe. You want to get the center up to 165 or a little better. That way you know it's done. And then there you go. There's a decent amount of steps to it, but I wouldn't call it overly complicated by any means. and it tastes great. I have some tips for that cream sauce. Now, what I did was it was more of a cream cheese cream sauce. That's just what I prefer. And so basically, but I've got a different type of sauce you can try too. Because I think traditionally you get a Dijon cream sauce, or basically mustard. But what you do is follow the same steps, but instead of putting the I'm sorry, I'm distracted. It's a bunch of them. Apologies, my friends. But back to that cream sauce. If you don't want to use the cream cheese, go ahead and use a full cup of, I use half and half because it's like less than half the cost of heavy cream. It's cheaper and it's still as effective. Tablespoon of butter and 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. There you go. But for the Dijon mustard, you can, and I've done this before, you can also substitute like a creamy dressing like ranch. Put in 2 tablespoons of ranch dressing in there and you have a ranch cream sauce. It's a pretty versatile base. But I'm pretty excited we pulled that off, my friends. I truly am. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stoke that campfire up because we don't have a whole lot of daylight left, but I'm not ready to call tonight yet. So I'm going to relax here by the campfire, enjoy this cup of coffee, and then we'll call tonight about dark. Well, my friends, again, appreciate y'all coming along. Here's to you. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in the morning. Second cup. Good morning, campers. It's raining. So right now we are on our way up to a Casey's to get me some coffee. So I appreciate y'all hanging in there. Y'all take care, and we'll catch up when I have some coffee in me. Cheers to you, my friends. This Casey's is a little bit busy this morning. Holy catfish. And unfortunately, it's raining. I knew that there was a threat of rain, but I was hopeful it would hold off until after we left this morning. But nope, it moved in just before daylight. And which means the snow that they're predicting is going to move in earlier too. Oh my gosh. But in all, I think this was still a pretty good camping trip. Kind of, in a way, kind of cut it short just a little bit, but that's all right. Oh, yesterday was fantastic. Can't complain about the temperatures at all. Dinner worked out great. Holy cow. I was pretty pleased with that. So, well, I run on a little bit, my friends. So I want to get Red fired up and head back to the city. So here's to you. Appreciate y'all coming along on my little camping adventures. I truly do. So everybody out there, y'all take care. And as always, I'll see you soon.